Okay, guys, now let's start. Today we are going to deal with book 5, that is English syntax. Okay, um, here, so far we have learned a lot from that's we started from phonemes, then morphology. We learned about words. First, we learned about sounds, then words, and now we have reached at a point where we have to learn about sentence or a structure of sentence. Okay, so what do you mean by syntax? Syntax is nothing but it's a structure, it's a study of sentence and their structure. So as we have studied the structure of word, we have studied about words, their structure, their formation, and we have dealt in a very detailed manner on words. Likewise, now we have stepped up into the next portion or the next stage of linguistics, that is syntax, that is the study of the structure of sentence or the study about the sentence and its structure. Okay, so let me remind you, all this comes under the morphology. Okay, now as we have discussed in the first book about structuralism, I have told you that the father of linguistics, who say, that is Ferdinand is Saussure. Okay, he is the one who put forward the notion of structuralism, and he told that the elements are which creates the sentence or a language, they do have a relationship with each other. In so that so we know that we have heard many, we have undergone many we learned about many people like in that is European structuralist is Ferdinand de Saussure. Then we learned that in America we have found that Sapir and Leonard Bloomfield is there. Then likewise we have seen it, okay, what is the structuralism and all, and we have seen what an IC is, immediate constituent is, and yeah, okay. Now the in a and now let me say that again, let me repeat that the structuralist, how they are learning a structure or how they are learning about a language or a sentence. What they are doing is that they are breaking the sentence into small pieces. We have seen it in the first portion, isn't it? Small pieces, and they're reaching into the simplest form, that is, which can never further be divided. That particular process is known as immediate constituent analysis. We have seen it, isn't it? IC analysis. In the first class, I have explained it. And now that, and after that, we have seen that Noam Chomsky came and he put forward the generative grammar, in which we can see that in the generative grammar, we could see that he is deconstructing all these things, okay, all these notions, and he sees that there is something to do. See, the structuralists are telling that there is nothing to do with the language, has nothing to do with the mind of a people, of a person. But Noam Chomsky is arguing that yeah, it has to do something with the mind or the mental state. Okay, that's one difference. Then generative grammar, I have told you that he says that we have to learn structure of a we have to learn a sentence, not to break it down and to just know about the relationship between the elements in that, but further we should know how to generate more and more sentences, and further more and more possible sentences to that particular sentence. Okay, so that is what Noam Chomsky was arguing. So let us see in syntax in generative grammar. Okay, so in page number 7, you can see syntax in generative grammar. So before that, let me say that today as this textbook, it has got 6 units, and we will have to discuss some part we have to discuss it in a very detailed way. So today in this session, I'll be concentrating on only the first 3 units. Okay, otherwise it will be overloaded for you, and it will not be effective. And in the next session, we'll go through the rest of the for unit 4, 5, and 6. Okay, in the afternoon session. Okay, so today completely this text will be completed by 2 sessions. Is it clear for you? Am I audible to you? Am I audible? Can you hear me, students?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah. Okay. So let me come back. So it's a syntax in generative grammar. So I told you what a syntax is. What is a syntax? Syntax is nothing but to know about the structure of a sentence. So how we should learn about a sentence in a generative grammar? See, in descriptive grammar, we have seen that we are just dividing the sentence into small pieces first, and we are looking at the relationship between each elements, isn't it? That is, we are doing IC analysis. But here we can see a reciprocal way of learning the structure of a sentence. So let us see that in page number 7. First of all, what you want to know is that first term which you want to know is syntactic constituent. The identification of a syntactic constituent. What is a syntactic constituent? Okay, so say, I told you syntax is a branch of linguistics that concerns with the study of units larger than word. That is, we are learning to the upper portion of the words, that larger than words. Okay, so first we learned phoneme, then words. Now we are stepping to the larger portion than words. So that is syntax. And here, see, the larger portion means it may be a complete sentence, or it may be a clause, or it may be a that is a phrase, or it may, okay. So three things it may be. It may be a phrase, it may be a clause, or it may be a sentence. Okay, so the upper level, the higher level than the words are, first comes phrases, then clauses, and then sentence. So we'll be going through these 3 things, and you'll get a complete idea about what a phrase is, what a clause is, and what a sentence is. Okay, so these 3 things, that is, these elements, that is, phrases, clauses, and sentences, all together, we can call it as syntactic constituent, because these are the elements which we are dealing with in syntax to learn the structure. Okay, so what is a syntactic constituent? The different kinds of units larger than isolated words. Words are available. Okay, so different units which we can find larger than words. Okay, that and are different kinds of, these are called as different kinds of syntactic constituent. So that is a syntactic constituent. Any piece or any group of words which you can find in a sentence, okay, that which is larger than a single word is known as a syntactic constituent. So you know that in a phrase you'll get, so if it is a noun phrase, see, the boy, the boy. It's two words are there. It's a noun phrase. It's a phrase. Okay, because boy is just a word. But when it comes to when if you're talking about the boy, it became a phrase, because you can call it as a noun phrase because boy is a noun, and the is the determinant. The, okay, so the boy together becomes a phrase, and it could be called as a noun phrase because the main topic or the main thing is the boy, that is a noun. Okay, that's a noun phrase. See, in syntax, it's very important that you should know what a phrase is. because it is completely dealing with phrases. Okay, so I think it's clear for you. Is there any doubt about phrase? Please answer me. Nobody there? Is there any doubt about phrase? Is it clear?
Yeah, phrase is okay.
Okay, so it is so likewise now next is clause. Next comes clauses, which is a little big bigger than phrases, and then comes sentences. So we'll be dealing with all these things, all these syntactic constituent later in a dealer manner in this text itself. Okay, so first what you want to know is that, or the idea which you want to get at this particular point is that what a syntactic constituent is. Okay, the syntactic constituents are the phrases or the clauses or the sentence in a sentence. Okay, now let us move. Now, now what you want to know is, see, some tests are there. See, in page number 8, 9, and 10, you can find many tests are there. Testings, that is to know that, yeah, common tests are there. So, see, I think you have got your textbook with you. So, here, the first test is, see, the names of tests are given here. I'll read it out. The first test is substitution, then the test of conjoining, then distribution, placement by anaphora, then parenthetical insertion. Okay, don't get panicked by listening to these terms. I'll make it clear for you. See, let's switch on to substitution. So, what do you mean by a substitution? Nothing. See, you know what a substitution is. What is a substitution? We are, see, as science, many science, you have learned science till at least till 10th, isn't it? So, and even mathematics you have learned. So, you know what a substitution is. That we are putting something new in a particular position, isn't it? That is a substitution. We are substituting something. So, here, let me take an example. Like in page number 8, it's very clearly given that this little girl came yesterday. This little girl came yesterday. So that's a sentence, isn't it? In that, you can break this two sentence into two. This little girl and came yesterday. Okay, two portions. Now, in the place of this little girl, see, in the place of this little girl, you can substitute more and more sentences which can match to the next part, that is came yesterday. See, see the example B there. My brother came yesterday. So here, this little girl is completely substituted with my brother, isn't it? Then comes the man who is sitting over there came yesterday. Here also, the man who is sitting over there is being substituted in the place of this little girl, which we were dealing in at first, isn't it? Then comes Veena. Veena came yesterday. See, there also a new substitution is given, that is Veena in the place of this little girl. Is it clear? So first, so now let's come to the next part. That is came yesterday. Came yesterday, isn't it? So there, see, this little girl came yesterday. In the portion of came yesterday, we can substitute with many other things like this little girl ate some mangoes. Okay, this little girl. Likewise, you can create more and more words there also. Okay, that you are substituting in the place of the that particular portion. Okay, so what we are doing here is that, see, we are talking about generative grammar. I told you what a generative grammar is. See how generative grammar is different from a descriptive grammar. In generative grammar, we are trying to make new and new sentences, construction of new and new sentences, generation of new and new sentences. That is what do you mean by generating. Okay, so here we are just substituting and generating. So actually it is a test. Here, see, the test is known as the test of substitution. Now, next comes the test of. So before that, let me tell you one thing. In the sentence, "This little girl came yesterday," we have broken this whole sentence into two. That is, this little girl one at one side and came yesterday, isn't it? Yeah, this little girl is the noun. See, it is the noun phrase. Why? And came yesterday is the verb phrase. Why? Because this little girl is talking about the noun girl, isn't it? So that phrase belongs to the head is noun there, the girl, isn't it? So we can call it as a noun phrase. Now, if you're coming to the came yesterday, there came is the head word, isn't it? Main central word. What is that came? Came is verb, action word, verb. So the came yesterday phrase could be called as a verb phrase. Okay, and in linguistics we always use abbreviations like NP and VP. NP for noun phrase, VP for verb phrase. Then if it is AP, then it may be adjective phrase or adverbial phrase. Then mostly it is given as ADV. Then PP is a prepositional phrase. Okay, so likewise, you have to understand it while we are drawing the tree and all. See, you should understand this, should know about this abbreviations like NP, VP, PP and all. Okay, now next is next test, that is the test of conjoining. So here actually what we are testing that whether a particular part of a sentence is it is a syntactic constituent or not. Okay, we talked about syntactic constituent. What is a syntactic constituent? A syntactic constituent should either be a phrase, a clause, or a sentence. Okay, so here we checked this particular sentence, that is by the substitution method, that is the whole sentence, "This little girl and came yesterday." Well, this little girl is a syntactic constituent there. Okay, in the first test itself. Okay, I'm talking about the substitution test itself before going to test of conjoining. One more point I have to add, that is the test of substitution itself. We can say that with that example, that is, "This little girl came yesterday." This little girl, I told you, that's a noun phrase, isn't it? And came yesterday is a verb phrase. So here we could substitute more and more other noun phrases. See, what you have to take care is that if you are taking a noun phrase and substituting another phrase there, it should be the noun phrase itself. Okay. Then if you are taking a verb phrase and substituting a phrase there, then it should be a verb phrase. Okay. So the substituting thing should belong to the same category or same part of speech. Okay, and as and by this test we can prove that the test of substitution proves that the portion, the noun phrase "this little girl" is a syntactic constituent, because we can substitute more and more noun phrases in that place of "this little girl" with a meaningful way. So it has been proved that it is a syntactic constituent. Okay, So that is all about the test of substitution. Now let's see what is a test of conjoining. So what do you mean by conjoining? Conjoined means joining together, isn't it? A syntactic constituent can be conjoined with one another, with another syntactic constituent. So I talked about syntactic constituent. So if you could, if you are able to join another syntactic constituent with the present syntactic constituent, with a meaningful way, then it is you can prove that that particular syntactic constituent which you were testing was is a you can prove that it is a syntactic constituent. അതായത് ഇപ്പോൾ if there is a noun phrase and you could join another noun phrase with that with a successful manner, then you can say that the first noun phrase is a syntactic constituent. That is how the test of conjoining is done. Okay, so it is conjoining. Then for example, Veena, in page number 9 you can see that Veena and this little girl came yesterday. Here Veena is there and this little girl is there. So with this little girl came yesterday, I have joined Veena, another noun phrase, Veena. Okay, so there I have joined Veena with this little girl, and the whole sentence is giving a sense there, that is Veena and this little girl came yesterday. Okay, so no issues are there, or no absurdity is there in the sentence. So we can say that this little girl is a syntactic constituent. Okay, and again you can say in B, in example B, Veena came yesterday and collected the letters. Here, what we have done, Veena is there. Veena came yesterday is the sentence. There, Veena is there, noun phrase, and came yesterday is the verb phrase. And along with this came yesterday, now here we are testing whether the verb phrase came yesterday is a syntactic constituent or not. So with the verb phrase came yesterday, we have conjoined another verb phrase, collected the letters. Collected means it's a verb. Collected word is a verb. So you can call it as a verb phrase. So another verb phrase is being conjoined with the already existing came yesterday verb phrase, and the whole sentence is making a sense there, like Veena came yesterday and collected the letters. So, so we can say that came yesterday is a syntactic constituent. Okay, is it clear so far? Are you getting the idea?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, see if there is any doubt, please
If there is any doubt,
raise your doubt. Okay, because
raise your doubt.
what I'm
Okay, because
telling is that
what I'm
if
telling
you
is
can't
that
understand what a
if you
syntactic
can't understand,
constituent is, you can never follow the further part of the textbook. Okay, so please clear it at this point itself. Please clear it. Okay, that's why I'm taking a little bit more time to make it clear for you than the other textbooks. Hope I can proceed. Okay, now next test is the test of distribution. Okay, what do you mean by test of distribution? Again, we are testing the syntactic constituent, whether it is a syntactic constituent or not. That is how you are doing it. That is, you are checking that it hold in various distributional position. How far you can distribute this syntactic constituent. See, I'll make it clear. This little girl is smart. Okay, the first sentence is this little girl is smart. Next sentence, I like this little girl. Third sentence, Veena gave the flowers to this little girl. So here, what you have to, you might have got the idea, isn't it? In these three sentences, this little girl is being repeated, but it is being distributed in many positions. In each sentence, look. In each sentence, it is distributed. In the first sentence, this little girl is smart, then this little girl is coming first in the place, isn't it? Then, I like this little girl. So in the first, it is acting as a subject, then coming to here, it's acting as an object. Then Veena gave the flowers to this little girl. One is direct object and another one is indirect object. The third one is indirect object. Okay, so here so let me repeat it once more. This little girl is smart. In that sentence, this we are checking the phrase, noun phrase, this little girl, whether it is syntactic constituent or not. Okay. So here in the first sentence, we can find that this little girl is smart. In this sentence, it is acting as a noun phrase. Then in sentence B, I like this little girl. There, this little girl is acting as an object. Then in sentence C, Veena gave the flowers to this little girl. There, this little girl is coming, acting as an indirect object. So likewise, so here we can see that that particular phrase could be distributed as a, by doing many functions in a particular sentence. So this is a test to check whether a phrase is a syntactic constituent or not. Next is the test of replacement by anaphora. See, what do you mean by anaphora? See, here, pronouns can occur in, here we are talking about, see, many things are there, so like pronouns are there, then let me make it clear by the example, okay? Let me make it clear by the example. The boy who sits over there thinks the boy who sits over there is smart. See here, the boy who sits over there is again repeated after the verb, that is the things the boy who sits over there is smart. It could be written as the boy who sits over there thinks he is smart, isn't it? So instead of repeating the whole clause or the whole phrase, you are substituting a pronoun there, isn't it? You are replacing that whole portion with a pronoun. Okay, then let us see the next sentences. That is, monkeys eat bananas and elephants eat bananas too. So here also eat bananas is been repeated. No need of repeating there. So there you can write like this. Monkeys eat bananas and elephants do so too. So do so is acting, it is been see, the whole eat bananas is been replaced by do so, isn't it? So these replaced things are known as anaphora. Okay, so here in the first sentence, he, the pronoun, is the anaphora, and in the second sentence, do so is the anaphora. Got it? Got the idea? So it may come. See here in these two examples, we have got pronouns and also. Likewise, you can use adjective anaphora. See the first one, anaphora, pronoun anaphora can be called as a noun anaphora. Then the do so for anaphora could be called as a verb anaphora, verb phrase. Okay, verb phrase anaphora. Then again, if you're taking another example like see, such can be such, the word such could be used as an anaphora, as adjectival anaphora, like we'll say that see, that boy is uh, is a very what to say, arrogant person. That boy is a very arrogant type, but his father is not such a type. Okay, so I'm just replacing the arrogant or very arrogant phrase with the Very arrogant is the adjective actually. It is talking about the boy. So that phrase is an adjective. It is talking about the noun boy. So I'm replacing that the arrogant boy with such in order to avoid the repetition. So, what are anaphoras? Anaphoras are those words or those usages which we are replacing in the place of the repeated, unnecessarily repeated portions of a sentence. Okay, now next is the test of parenthetical insertion. Okay, parenthetical insertion. So the test of replacement by anaphora, here we can prove that if you can replace a portion of a sentence with an anaphora, then that particular portion is a syntactic constituent. That is how you have to conclude in that test. Okay. Then comes the test of parenthetical insertion. What do you mean by parenthetical insertion? What is a parenthetical expression? What is that? So let me make it clear by the example. Here again, my cousin is an avid mountaineer. My cousin, incidentally, is an avid mountaineer. So here I used incidentally. Likewise, we use many words, such words like unfortunately, luckily, isn't it? That is, fortunately, all these things we are using. Actually, these are not mandatory phrases or mandatory certain phrases like by the way, of course. We always use such words while we are talking. Actually, such words are not mandatory words. Not words, phrases are not mandatory, but we use to increase, to express our attitude, the speaker's attitude. It reveals the attitude of the speaker. So it's an added quality which we are giving there. So in such cases, actually, it has been called as, such expressions are called as parenthetical expressions. Okay, such expressions actually it comes, see in the, now let's come back to the example once again. My cousin is an avid mountaineer. There I, in the second portion, second sentence, my cousin incidentally is an avid mountaineer. There I use the parenthesis incidentally, isn't it? See, if I'm using this, always what you have to take care is that this parenthetical expressions comes at the edge of the see the syntactic constituent. This is the test which you have to do to check which is the syntactic constituent. See, always the parenthetical expression comes at the edge of the syntactic expression. You can never substitute the, or you can never insert a parenthetical expression inside a syntactic constituent. That is the test which we are using here to check whether a phrase is a syntactic constituent. Okay. So here, let me make it clear that here my cousin is a phrase, isn't it? So we can call it as a syntactic constituent. That is our testing thing. Okay. So in that, incidentally, I'm just check the C. Example C. My incidentally cousin is an avid mountaineer. Complete absurdity came there, isn't it? So that's what we have done there. Here incidentally is used inside the syntactic constituent. So the whole sentence is being made ulta. So here so we can prove that yeah, my cousin is a syntactic constituent because only a syntactic constituent because a parenthetical expression could only be joined at the end of the either end of the syntactic constituent. Okay, so these are the different tests which are used to check whether a particular portion in a sentence is a parenthetical expression or not. Sorry, is a syntactic constituent or not. So once again, the test of substitution, conjoining, distribution, replacement by anaphora, and parenthetical insertion. Okay, now let's move. Next comes the head of a syntactic constituent. As I told you earlier, it's very easy to identify the head of a syntactic constituent. See, if it is a noun phrase, the noun is the head of that phrase. If it is an adverbial phrase, then the adverb will be the head. And if it is a prepositional phrase, the preposition will be the head. So it's very clear. Okay. Then next is phrase structure, phrase and its nodes. See, it's here in page number 12. Please, all of you take page number 12, and I here you can find a tree there. See, so I told you that actually what this phrase structure is being done in a generative grammar. See, it is the sentence is being found at the bottom of the see in the bottom of the tree than in a descriptive grammar. In a descriptive grammar, first we are writing the whole sentence and then we are breaking down it. But in a generative grammar, we are generating a sentence. So the sentence is found in the bottom at last. Okay, because we are generating. So how we are generating? We are generating by forming. We are forming syntactic constituents together, and we are producing a or generating a sentence. Okay, so that has been done here. See, phrase structure tree. So here we are structuring. See, in here we are structuring. Here you can see that. See, a noun phrase, first you'll put a S subject. Okay, and in that NP is the see, it is on in page number 12. Okay, NP is a noun phrase, and here, yeah, NP is a noun phrase. I told you, you should, whenever you see the letters NP, you should understand that it is a noun phrase, and so it is a syntactic constituent there. Then comes preposition. Okay, that is predicate, sorry, not preposition, it is PP is prepositional phrase, it is predicate phrase. Okay, so the NP means a noun phrase will be there, and predicate phrase means it's the other portion, you know, whichever sentence you are taking, there will be a noun phrase and another portion, a predicate phrase will be there. You know that we can divide at the first division which we can give to a sentence is a noun phrase and a predicate phrase, subject and predicate. We are learning it right from our small classes, isn't it? Subject and predicate. So first we are giving. So here then NP, it doesn't, there in the place of NP and in the place of predicate phrase, you can put any substitute. See, NP is a syntactic constituent and predicate phrase is a syntactic constituent. Now you're clear about syntactic constituents, so let me use that. Okay. So in the place of NP syntactic constituent, as we have told, you can substitute any syntactic constituent which belongs to the category noun because it is NP. If you are so NP means any NPs you can substitute there. Okay, and a sensible predicate you can substitute at the other side. So this is how the tree. Then NP, the NP is further divided, that is noun phrase is further divided into determinant and a noun. Always in a noun phrase there will be a determinant like the, this or that, likewise. Okay, then or an article will be there, a or an, isn't it? And then a noun phrase will be there. Okay, so it is divided such way. Then comes a predicate portion or the predicate phrase. There you may find first verb will be there, the verb, okay, and before verb any auxiliary verbs will be there. You know what an auxiliary verb is? What is an auxiliary verb? That is a helping verb in order to help for the verb to work in a good manner. Okay, so that is a helping verb, auxiliary verb. You know there are primary auxiliaries and there are secondary auxiliaries. We know about that. Which are the primary auxiliaries? Is, have, be forms are there. isn't it? Has, have, had, done, do, did. All these things are primary auxiliaries. Then comes then and another one is modal auxiliaries, isn't it? Modal auxiliaries we know which are they, like will, would, shall, should, all these things. Okay, may, might, all many are there. You know that. Okay, so such things may come first if you are talking about a verb. If you are using a verb before that, this comes before the verb. So so first you should give a place for auxiliary verb. Okay, then the other portion is the verb phrase. Okay, so the predicate first we are breaking into a auxiliary portion, and auxiliary we are giving a place for auxiliary verb, and then we are dividing the other portion, that is the predicate is divided into the other another portion, that is the verb phrase. Okay, then again this verb phrase is being divided. You can follow, are you following the tree? See in page number 12 you have got that tree. Okay, so again we are dividing, that is the verb phrase is being divided again because it's a phrase. You have to reach at the bottom, you have to reach at a place where, see, you should get a single word. അതുവരെ divide ചെയ്ത് പോണം. Okay, weep it, that is verb phrase. So obviously in a verb phrase there will be a verb, isn't it? In a sentence, any sentence, think about any sentence, so there will be a verb. So you are giving a place for a verb. Then another part of the verb phrase, it is a prepositional phrase may come. It may come. See, every possible places we are giving for a sentence here. Okay, so a prepositional phrase may come. Then again the prepositional phrase is being divided, and a preposition is being isolated and given as here. Okay, a place for preposition. Then comes an object in the place. The object will have a place, should have a place in the prepositional phrase. So that when you are when you are separating the preposition from a prepositional phrase, then obviously there will be a noun phrase left. Okay, so the noun phrase is there, and again you know how a noun phrase is being divided. Either there will be a determinant and a noun. Okay, so I don't know how far you have understood it. Anyway, let us come to the next stage so that you can understand it in a better way. That is, we are putting examples now. Okay, we are substituting words now as it is given here. See, in the end, for the determinant, this comes, then a noun, boy comes. For an auxiliary verb, will is being used. Then for the verb, speak is used. For preposition, to is used. For determinant, that is used. And for noun, girl is used. So just join these words, you will get a sentence. We'll get a sensible sentence like, this boy will speak to that girl. Okay, so this is how we are dealing with generative grammar. Because see, this tree can give more and more sentences like this boy will speak to that girl is just an example which we have substituted. Okay, this can give more and more, this can generate more and more sentences. Like, see, you can give more and more determinants, you can give more and more different substitutions can be made in the place of determinant, in the place of noun, or in the place of auxiliary, or in the place of verb. Or you can see many optional things are there. Auxiliary is not needed always. So likewise, see, this is how you have to make a tree in a generative grammar. So, if a sentence is being given to you and you are being asked to make a tree of a generative grammar in for a particular sentence, then what you have to do is that first you have to write the sentence at the bottom. Write the sentence at the bottom by giving space for the tree and start from the top, and you'll get an idea. First you divide this sentence from here and come to that. Okay, so you'll get an idea how to bring it. Okay. Now, see, now what you have to do is that please take more and more examples and substitute and do it. See, this is just like mathematics. You have to do and substitute it. And while some errors come, then think about it, clear your errors. See, you can call me, okay, or you can do further references and all. Okay. Now comes C command. Another term is there, C command. What do you mean by C command? Nothing. But here many nodes are there, isn't it? These stages are called as nodes, and at each node, the one node is commanding to another node here. See, the S node is the superior node. Okay. And below to that comes NP, and that is noun phrase and predicate nodes. So if you are following this predicate node, see, you can see that auxiliary, then verb phrase node is coming. Then then comes verb and prepositional. So here we can see that the verb is being, see here the auxiliary is C commanding verb. We can say like that because auxiliary comes just above, it is dominating. See, if you want to say like that, what should happen is that the auxiliary verb is coming just above the node, above, it is placed in the above node, and both this auxiliary verb and this verb both are being dominated by the S node. So in such a situation, you can say that this auxiliary verb is C commanding V, that is verb. Now, once again, let me request you to just type your name in the chat box so that I could get the attendance. Please type your name in the chat box. Okay, all of you. Now, next is phrase structure rules in early transformational grammar. See, as I told you, that is Noam Chomsky is a person who has put forward this generative grammar and who proposed this transformational generative grammar. Also, this we have discussed about it in the first textbook, and here we are just learning it in a detailed way. So don't forget his name. It is Noam Chomsky, who is the person who proposed this generative grammar or transformational generative grammar. Now, in this type of grammar, you can find two basic types like phrase structure rules and transformational rules. See, I told you this generative grammar is all about generating new and new possible sentence. See, as we have seen the tree, there we can generate new and new possible sentences there. Likewise, so here, first, let us come to the phrase structure rule. See, what do you mean by phrase structure rule? See, in page number 13, you can find that uh, in page number 13, you can find that is in 20, not page, in page number 13, number 20 is there. There you can see A, B, C, D, E. Okay, many steps it has been written, arrow, S is arrow to NP, NP arrow to determinant and N. So this is the steps. These are the phrase structure rules. Okay, such rules are being written first and then we can, these are the parameters through which, see, these rules are the parameters through which we can substitute the possible syntactic constituent to a sentence. So by following these parameters, so by following these rules, like S can be, then in the right hand side of S comes NP, sorry, NP, that is noun phrase, and then comes a predicate phrase. You know what a sentence is. The first step, S, is a noun phrase and a predicate phrase. Then comes in the B, you are further dividing this noun phrase into a determinant and a noun. Then comes the C. In C, then you are going to the predicate phrase. Okay, and see, are you following that page? Please take that page number 13. Page number 13. Hope you have seen it. That is phrase structure rule.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. So first A, it shows the sentence, whole sentence. That is how a sentence will be NP and predicate P. That is noun phrase will be there and a predicate phrase will be there. And in B, it tells first what you have to do. The steps are there. These are the steps which you have to do in deal with a phrase structure, that is deal with in a generated grammar. Okay. So first what you have, when you get a sentence, what first you want to, first when you are constructing a sentence, first you want to write a noun phrase, then a predicate phrase, then a noun phrase, there will be a determinant and a noun, then go to the predicate phrase, and in a predicate phrase you can find an auxiliary and a verb phrase. Then again, in D, you know you're dealing auxiliary, we have given a space for the auxiliary. Then comes verb phrase. We are dealing with the verb phrase in at the stage D, and the verb phrase is further divided into a verb and a prepositional phrase, and E, in the step E, we are further dividing the prepositional phrase into a preposition and a noun phrase. And again, this noun phrase is being divided into in 21, you can see again the terminal, it is a terminal node. Okay, and then you can divide it into a determinant and a noun phrase. Determinant. So this is how, see, this is equivalent to the tree which we have seen earlier. See, I explained to you the tree, isn't it? That is the same thing which this here it has been given as a step by step rule. So this is the rule. You have to learn this rule. When a phrase structure rule is being asked in transformational grammar, you should write these steps there. Okay, and this is through, and it is through these steps that you have to construct or you have to use a sentence. Okay, now let us see the 21 there. See, determinant, it can be this, that, the, then a noun, boy, girl, then speak to, in this sentence. Okay, in this particular sentence, here see, this is a determinant, another that is coming as a determinant. Then that is the sentence, this boy will speak to that girl. In that sentence, this is a determinant and that is also a determinant. Then two nouns are coming, boy and see, girl. Okay, and one verb, speak, and then one auxiliary is coming, will, isn't it? Then one preposition. So these are the terminal nodes. So after after undergoing this step by step rule, you have to, after getting finally, after drawing this tree, you should write the terminal nodes. Which are the terminal nodes? Terminal nodes are ഒന്നുമില്ല, അറ്റത്ത് വരുന്ന വേർഡ്സ് ഏതൊക്കെയാണ് വരുന്നത്, അത് ഏതൊക്കെയാണ് കാറ്റഗറീസ് എന്ന് എടുത്തെഴുതുക. Okay, so in here you are giving this കൊടുക്കുന്നു determinant, then boy, how many determinants are there എന്ന് എടുത്തെഴുതണം, how many nouns are there, how many verbs are there, how many prepositions are there, which are they എന്ന് എഴുതാം. Okay, so that is all about now the phrase structure rule. Then comes see, but this is actually, if you're see, just think about this rule. It's a very open thing, isn't it? ഒരു free rule ആണ്. Anything could be added here. Okay, it doesn't have any restrictions. ഒരു rule എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ ഒരു, it should have a see, ഒരു ചെറിയൊരു പിടുത്തം വേണം അല്ലെ, ഇതൊന്നുമില്ല, it is very open. That is phrase structure rule. So Chomsky himself put forward a new theory, that is X bar theory. He added it to the phrase structure rule. അതായത് X bar theory എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞിട്ടൊരു theory add ചെയ്തു. Let us see what is it. The other page. Okay. Now X bar theory. See, before going to the, so just see in here the 23, you can see So what is an X bar theory എന്ന് ചോദിച്ചു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ what you have to do is say is that the phrase structure rules must be specified instance of a simple but well defined rule schema, so which came to be known as X bar theory. So it is given there in your textbook. Okay, now see the 23. There xp, that x could be anything, whether it can be a noun or it can be anything. Okay, xp, but generalized the rule completely. See xp, then a specifier, then x bar, it has been pronounced like that, x bar. Then you are taking this x bar, okay, adjunct, then another x bar, then x bar with two complements. See, if it is a, let us see in the other 24, if it is a noun phrase which you are dealing with, it will be more clear there. If it is a noun phrase which you are dealing with, see, here comes the specifier, that is a determinant and a noun, n bar. Okay, n bar. So, what is an n bar? Here, that is, it is, yeah, n bar. Then n bar again, uh, sorry, n bar again forms that n bar and prepositional phrase. Then n bar, then again ap. Ap is an, yeah, adjectival phrase. See, anyway, see, don't get confused. I'll show you one picture here and we'll follow that, okay, on the screen. Yeah, can you see the picture? Let me share it, okay? Yeah. Can you see the picture? Students, please answer me. Can you
Yes,
see the,
ma'am.
yeah.
And see the, yeah.
Yeah, this is for the students who
Yeah,
doesn't
this is
have
for
the,
the students who doesn't have.
the students who don't have their textbook can follow this one second. Yeah. Hope it is clear for you. There, കാണുന്നില്ലേ? Yeah. Okay. So now come back to the textbook. I'll give you one example. That is, let us explain with an example. എപ്പോഴും എക്സാമ്പിൾ പറയുമ്പോൾ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഭയങ്കര കൺഫ്യൂസ്ഡ് ആവും. ഓക്കെ, അതാ ഞാൻ പെട്ടെന്ന് നിർത്തിയത്. എക്സാമ്പിൾ വെച്ച് പറഞ്ഞുതരാം. ഓക്കെ, the student of physics with long hair will soon give Sita some flowers. Page number 14 at the end, you can see a sentence, 26 example. അതായത് the student of physics with long hair will soon give Sita some flowers. Okay, so first of all we are just dividing this two sentences to it's a long sentence. Okay, so first we are dividing it to its syntactic constituent, that is the student of physics with long hair is a noun phrase, and will soon give Sita some flowers as a verb phrase, because the student of physics with long hair, it's talking about the student, and the next portion, that is soon give Sita, that giving, okay, that's a process of action, so it is a verb phrase. So let's see here. Let's see the tree. See, first comes the noun phrase. We are taking the noun phrase. Then you are coming to the noun phrase. Okay, how you can divide a noun phrase? You have to divide it into a determinant first. Then you are giving the other portion of the noun, that is n bar. Okay, so first you are isolating or separating the determinant in the left hand side. Then comes n bar. Okay, then this n bar is further divided. So what will come in the n bar? That is, the is separated, so student of physics with long hair will come, that it will be there. Okay, student of physics with long hair. So student of physics, student, then that particular part is being further divided into n bar and prepositional phrase. So, which is a prepositional phrase? Which is the preposition there? Look at it first. With long hair. With is the preposition. So, with long hair is the prepositional phrase. Okay. So, here prepositional phrase is coming. Then, what you are doing? Come back to the N bar. N bar, there the rest of the sentence, that is student of physics. Okay. Now again the N bar is being divided into the noun and prepositional phrase. The noun is the student. Then what is the leftover? Prepositional phrase, that is of physics. You know, of is a preposition. That's why we have put the place for prepositional phrase there. Okay, of physics is a prepositional phrase. Further, this prepositional phrase is divided into preposition, that is of, and then physics. Physics is a noun. So noun phrase put the next N bar, which is noun. Okay, physics came. Okay. Now next portion, that is prepositional phrase here, that is with long hair. The N bar ഇത് നമ്മൾ divide ചെയ്തു. Next portion, that is with long hair, that is PP. Okay. In that PP, with P, that is preposition, we are separating first, that is with. Then comes noun phrase here. Okay. Which goes to noun, that is AP. AP, I have told you what is an AP? Adjectival phrase. Adjectival phrase. I have told you what an AP is in the first, at the first, at the first part of the textbook. We have seen it. What an AP is. AP is a adjectival phrase. And what is an AP? Here AP, with what is the adjective here? That is long. Long hair. That is long is the adjective, and long. We have got a bar, a long. Then next leftover thing is hair, which is a N. Okay. So just see the terminal nodes. Which are the things? Terminal nodes. The student of physics with long hair. So we have completed that phrase. Okay. The next phrase which we have left is the verb phrase. What is that? Soon give Sita some flowers, isn't it? So here verb phrase is divided into specifier, that is adjective. Specifier, what is a specifier? Specification വേണ്ടിയിട്ട് use ചെയ്യുന്നത്. That is to specify something. Okay. Adjective specifies noun, adverb specifies verb. So here the soon is an adverb. Okay, it's talk about the action. So it is a that is action, that is giving. Okay, so it is a specifier. Adverb specifier. So specifier is an adverb there. Then comes to soon. So you separated first soon. Then comes then comes the rest of the portion, that is give Sita some flowers. Give Sita some flowers. There give is the main verb. You first separated it. Then Sita some flowers. In that Sita is a noun phrase and a nouns alone. So you have seen the noun phrase. Or a word like noun phrase on it. So that is a noun and bar in Sita. Then comes another noun phrase, that is some flowers. Some flowers. It is another noun phrase. Some is the determinant. Some determine cheyunu. Some. Then another noun. Flowers are noun. Then noun came. Then noun. Flowers. Okay. Now let us check the node. Terminal nodes. Soon gave Sita some flowers. See, if you are together bringing this noun phrase and verb phrase, and in between, don't forget, there is a auxiliary verb, that is will. Will is there. Okay, നമ്മൾ സ്പ്ലിറ്റ് ചെയ്ത് കാണിച്ചു എന്നുള്ള സെൻറ്ററിൽ ഒരു auxiliary helping verb കൂടെ യൂസ് ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ട് will. So if you are connecting these two sentences, you'll get the student of physics with long hair will soon give Sita some flowers. Okay, so that's all. Now let's so see, I took more time for the first lesson because it's a new concept in your life which you are your first time listening all these things. I know that. So that's why I have taken much time to explain it. Hope I have done it clearly. If you have got any doubt, please raise your doubts so that I could step into the next unit. And if any doubt is not there, please tell it also so that I could continue my class. Come on, girls. Any doubt? Can I switch on to next unit? Any doubts?
Now it's okay, ma'am. But when we are reading it, then there will be confusion.
Don't, no problems. Like anyway, now you can follow it, isn't it?
Yes,
Without any
yes.
confusion.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's okay.
Okay. Yeah, it is so. No, see, I can understand because it's a new notion, new concept which you are learning. Okay. Don't be panicked. Don't be confused. See, if you have got any problem, any obstruction while you're learning, see, you can contact me. I told you because I can understand. See, I never tell this when I'm teaching you poetry or when I'm teaching you novels and all. See, I have taught you poetry. So, but this is a thing which you have, which you are finding. See, first time in your life, and see, you might have learned grammar, but it is in a different way. You might have learned, isn't it? So, anyway, uh, so let me proceed. Can I proceed?
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah, so that's why see, that's why I'm taking only 3 units today. That is in the first session. Okay, the other three I'll be taking in the afternoon session. So in between, please do a homework that please go through the lesson once. Okay, do that. Okay, then the next lesson is types of clauses and sentence. So we are talking about the syntactic constituent, and in that I told you phrases, clauses, and sentences are the syntactic constituents. So in that we have learned about phrases very clearly, and now we are switching on to clauses. Okay, clauses and sentences. So first, let us see what a clause is. Now it's quite simple. Okay, നിങ്ങൾ ആദ്യം കേട്ട കാര്യങ്ങളാണ് ഇനി കേൾക്കാൻ പോകുന്നത്. Don't worry. Okay. Now it's clause. Clause means nothing. You know that what a clause is. That is the verb. There should be a verb and all other possible noun phrases and prepositional phrases that the verb must occur, that help the verb to occur, is known as a clause. So in a clause, എന്ത് വേണം? A verb should be there. In a clause, a verb should be there, and the needed noun phrases and prepositional phrases should be there. Sometimes some clauses become a sentence itself. Okay. In the case of some clauses, you can say that that's a sentence. But every clauses need not be a sentence. That's the thing. See, to become a sentence, what do you mean by sentence? What do you mean by sentence? A sentence is a group of words in which there should be a subject, a predicate, and a verb should be there. And beyond that, say it should have a complete sense. It should stand independent. The sentence should be complete, or it should be sensible. No ambiguity should be there. Nothing more should not be there to know. So if you're closing a sentence by a full stop, by starting a sentence and closing it by a full stop, then it should convey a complete structuring should be there in a sentence. And I'm telling once again, I'm telling that in a clause, You may find a complete sentence or may not find a complete sentence. Okay, so we'll come to that. So what you have to understand is that a clause should have a verb and the needed the needed noun phrases and needed verb phrases in it. Okay, no, sorry, not verb preposition phrases in it. Okay, now it be clear when we are talking about these examples, it will be more clear. Okay, so it's quite clear in page 21. The sky is blue. First example, the sky is blue. Then second example is Sita knows that the sky is blue. Third is Sita wants her sister to be intelligent. Fourth is I saw Harry teaching the 7th standard students. Okay, these are the sentences. Now let us deal with this. See, in the first sentence, the sky is blue. It is a closed clause. It is a clause, isn't it? Where you can find is doing the function of a verb, that is primary verb is functioning there. Then the sky is a noun phrase and blue is a preposition. Sorry, not preposition. It is a object or no, say it is talking about this is an adjective of the sky. So the sky is blue. The sky is blue is complete. It is giving you a complete sense. Okay, so you can call it being a clause, you can call it a sentence. Okay, complete done. Now come to the next sentence. Sita knows that the sky is blue. So again, the sky is blue is being repeated in that sentence, but here Sita knows that the sky is blue. There, Sita knows, it's okay, that the sky is blue. When you are joining that, say that the sky is blue, or Sita knows that. So something more is to be known, isn't it? That the sky is blue, something more is to be known. So it's not the complete sentence is not complete, but that the sky is blue is a clause because it has got every qualities of a clause. That is, verb is there, noun phrase is there. Okay, so as the sky is blue, or if it could be considered as a sentence, then that the sky is blue can also be considered as a clause. Okay, so that is it. Other clause but it is not a sentence because it is not giving a complete meaning. Then comes Sita wants her sister to be intelligent. Her sister to be intelligent. Just think about it. Is it a complete sentence? No. So here, what I want to say is that you may be knowing that a clause which can stand by itself is known as the main clause or the principal clause, and the clause which is dependent, which it is not independent, is known as a subordinate clause or an embedded clause. Okay, that's all to know here. Then we'll talk about the complex and compound sentences later. Anyway, let me just mention it now. Then three types of sentences could be formed by this clauses. You know that. That is subordinate clause and main clause. Let me repeat once again. What is a main clause? A main clause is a clause which can stand by, which is independent and can stand by itself. And a subordinate clause is a clause which cannot stand by itself. It need another main clause to complete its sentence. Okay. So if you find a main clause as a sentence, a main clause alone that stands as a simple sentence. Okay, then if two main clauses are connected together by a conjunction, then it is known as compound sentence. Then if one main clause and a subordinate clause is being combined together, then it is known as a complex sentence. Again, if two main clauses is combined with a conjunction and another subordinate clause is being connected to this word, this sentence, then it is called as compound complex sentence. So these are the divisions. Okay. it is, I think it is quite familiar for you. വളരെ familiar ആയിട്ടുള്ള ഒരു grammatical ഇതാണിത്, നമ്മൾ ആദ്യം പഠിച്ചതാണ്. Okay, now what are conjunctions? That you know, and, but, either, not, neither, nor. Okay, these are the conjunctions. Or now comes to relative clauses. കുറച്ച് സ്പീഡിൽ പോവാം ഇവിടെ, because you know everything. You know what a relative clause is. Relative clause പറഞ്ഞാൽ എന്താണ്? The clause which, a clause, we are talking about a clause. Okay, it may not have a complete sense. Okay, about എന്താണ്? The man who came here yesterday, in page number 22, the man who came here yesterday is Harry's brother. There, who came yesterday? Okay, the man who came yesterday is the relative clause because it is talking about the man. That whole clause is relating to the man. It is talking more about the man. The man who. Okay, so who came here yesterday is talking more about this man. So it can, or the noun in that sentence. So it can be called as a relative clause. Then comes complement clause. Complement clause, you remember, for example, Sita knows that the sky is blue. That the sky is blue is a complement sentence there, isn't it? Because it is talking about that Sita knows that the sky is blue. It is complementing that the sky is blue. What Sita knows, it's complementing what? The verb, not the noun. Okay, what she knows. എന്നതിന്റെ ആൻസർ ആണ് എന്ത്? That the sky is blue. Okay, the knows-നെ കുറിച്ചിട്ടാണ്. Know എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ that verb. That verb is being explained through that the sky is blue. Okay, so that is a complement clause and relative clause. Then, what is a complementizer? Complementizer is the that used in a complement. That used in a, that the sky is blue. That word is known as the complementizer. The word which functions as a, which gives the function of a complement for a phrase is known as complementizer. Okay. Then next comes, ഇതൊക്കെ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് already അറിയുന്നതാണ്. Just I know. See, at the next will come to questions. You know what are questions? WH questions are there. A lot of questions are there. So what you have to learn, a new thing is that movement. See, transformational grammar. We know what do you mean? Transformational grammar. Generative grammar എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ എന്താണ്? We are learning about, Chomsky has put forward generative transformational grammar. Generative means more and more things are generated there. Then transformation is that you are transforming the sentence. Transformation. Okay, for example, very simple example, you know, the example is passive voice, you're transforming into active voice. So what is happening there actually? Now transformation, for that is what we are talking or learning in this grammar. Okay, so now we are talking about the questions. WH movement. See, take page number 23. There you can find a sentence there that is what do you, yeah, once again, page 22, the last sentence, that is, what do you slice onions with? What do you slice onions with? Sentence ഉണ്ടല്ലേ? So that sentence we are taking. Okay, here we are just checking the transformational rule here. എന്താണ് transformational rule എന്നാ പറഞ്ഞത്? ബാക്കിയൊക്കെ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് വായിച്ചാൽ മനസ്സിലാവുന്ന കാര്യങ്ങളുള്ളൂ ക്വസ്റ്റിനെ പറ്റിയിട്ട്. Okay, so what is a transformational rule? See, here, what do you slice onions with? എന്നുള്ളതിനെ കണ്ടോ? In page number 23, you present plus slice onions with what? What-നെ നമ്മൾ എന്തുകൊണ്ട് ചെയ്തു? ഇങ്ങോട്ട് കൊണ്ടുവന്നു. ഇതാണ് ഈ what do you slice onions with ഉണ്ടാക്കുക. എങ്ങനെയാണ് ഇവിടെ? You slice onions with what? അതാണ് സെന്റൻസ്. അതിന് ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ ആക്കാൻ വേണ്ടിയിട്ട് എന്ത് വെച്ചിട്ടാണ് നിങ്ങൾ ഓണിയൻ സ്ലൈസ് ചെയ്യുന്നതെന്നുള്ള ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ. ദിസ് വാട്ട് ഈസ് ബീൻ ബ്രോട്ട് കണ്ടോ in 8 8ൽ എന്താ ചെയ്തത് it has been transformed വാട്ടിനെ ഇവിടുന്ന് എടുത്തിട്ട് എന്ത് ചെയ്തു it has been kept in the first portion that is in 8ൽ കണ്ടോ what you present slice onions with ആദ്യം what നിന്ന സ്ഥലത്ത് at the place where from where we have removed what we are putting a small t there that's that t okay that is a transformation നടന്ന സ്ഥലത്തിന് ഒരു t നമ്മൾ ഇടുന്നു t okay then now see now what എന്താ സംഭവിച്ചേ now what happened what you present means a present thing is there do is there here in the sentence ആ do ന് substitute ചെയ്യാൻ വേണ്ടിയിട്ടാണ് do slice onions with എന്നുള്ളത് ഇനി 9ൽ കണ്ടോ വാട്ട് ഈ പ്രസന്റിന് പകരം ഈ പ്രസന്റിന് നമ്മൾ എന്ത് ചെയ്തു ഇങ്ങോട്ട് ഷിഫ്റ്റ് ചെയ്തു ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് വാട്ട് ഡു യു സ്ലൈസ് ഓണിയൻസ് വിത്ത് അങ്ങനെ ഫൈനലി വി ഗോട്ട് ദ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ ഇങ്ങനെയാണ് ദിസ് ഈസ് ഹൗ യു ആർ മേക്കിംഗ് എ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ ബൈ by the movement of a WH word to the first position. And the place from where you are moving this WH word, you are putting a T there. A T a T. That T is known as, that is the element. The element T is a WH trace. T trace, T trace. What do you mean by T trace? That is the place from where we have taken WH word to form a question. Now, our place in നമ്മൾ T trace, that is we are tracing back the WH word what. അത് എവിടെ ഉള്ളത് അതിപ്പോ it's a virtual position. That is this there അവിടുന്ന് ഇങ്ങോട്ട് എടുത്ത സ്ഥലമാണ് ആ സ്ഥലം അവിടെ തന്നെ ഉണ്ട്. Okay, so that's a virtual position. T trace എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. Okay, WH trace or T trace. Okay, so what is a T trace? എവിടെയെങ്കിലും reference വന്നാൽ don't get confused. It is a place from where we have moved the WH words to make a question. Okay, now that's all. Next comes clause type. Different types of clauses. At first we have seen different types of clause like subordinate clause and main clause. Now you are going to learn the subordinate clause is again called as other name is subordinate clause nu parnalana dependent clause nu parayunnathu. Okay, main clause is the independent clause. If you have learned in other name, just don't get confused. Okay, then in page number 24 we are going to learn more about clause, that is different types of clause. It's quite easy. The first clause is finite clause. Finite clause, you know what is a finite verb and a non-finite verb? അറിയാലോ അറിയാത്തവർക്കൊന്ന് പറയണമെങ്കിൽ ഞാൻ പറയാം. Finite verbs in English we know there are two types of verbs, that is finite verbs and non-finite verbs. Finite verbs are those verbs which undergoes changes according to the changes in the subject or changes in the tense or changes in the pronouns, numbers ഒക്കെ ചേഞ്ച് ആകുമ്പോൾ സിംഗുലർ പ്ലൂരൽ ആവുമ്പോൾ വേർബിൽ ചേഞ്ച് വരും. Likewise, like if you are talking he walk plus s എന്ന് പറയില്ലേ, he walks. When it is they, we say they walk. So the word walk is undergoing change. Appa our word walk, that verb walk is a finite verb. നിങ്ങൾക്ക് അറിയുണ്ടാവും അല്ലേ? അതേപോലെ തന്നെ അതിപ്പോ നമ്പർ സിംഗുലർ പ്ലൂരൽ അല്ലേ, ഫസ്റ്റ് പേഴ്സൺസിന് മാറും. Likewise, see I എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോ എന്താ വരുന്നത്, see have or I go അല്ലേ? പിന്നെ ഹി ആണെങ്കിലോ he goes. അപ്പൊ likewise person മാറുമ്പോഴും തേർഡ് പേഴ്സൺ ആകുമ്പോഴും ഫസ്റ്റ് പേഴ്സൺ ആകുമ്പോഴും thing is changing. So then tense we know, tense walking, walked, likewise changes happen. So that's a finite verb. And non-finite verb is a verb where it is independent of all these changes in the sentence. It won't change. അത് അങ്ങനെ തന്നെ കിടക്കും. ജറണ്ട് ഒക്കെ നിങ്ങൾ പഠിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ടാവുമല്ലോ അല്ലെ, പറയേണ്ട ആവശ്യമില്ലല്ലോ. Okay, anyway, So likewise, if there is a ഇത്ര മനസ്സിലാക്കിയാൽ മതി, clause with a finite verb is known as a finite clause. അതാണ് നിങ്ങളിവിടെ പഠിക്കാൻ പോകുന്നത്. That is, see here, relative clause ലൊക്കെ നമ്മൾ പഠിച്ചു. Just read it. It is very easy. നമ്മൾ ഓർത്താൽ മതി what is a finite verb. In that itself you can come across relative clause and adverbial clause. What do you mean by relative clause? I told you what is a relative clause. A clause which mentions more about which talks more about the subject or about the noun. Then it is called as a relative clause. Then mostly it is been related by using which, who, the person ആണെങ്കിൽ who, nakon whom use ചെയ്യും, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ സാധനങ്ങളാണെങ്കിൽ which, that എന്നൊക്കെ use ചെയ്യും. Okay. Then adverbial clause. What is an adverbial clause? Which talks more about a verb. The clause which tells more about the action of that particular sentence is known as adverbial verb clause. Then non-finite clauses. If it is coming in a sentence, then you can find that that is a non-finite verb. For example, വേണമെങ്കിൽ പറഞ്ഞുതരാം. I saw Hari teaching the 7th standard students. Then hearing a sudden noise, Ram woke up in the middle of the night. But hearing a sudden noise is a non-finite clause because hearing a sudden noise, അത് മാറുന്നില്ല. ആ കേട്ടുകൊണ്ട് നീറ്റ് വന്നു എന്നാ പറഞ്ഞേ. Ram woke up in the middle of the night. അതിൽ woke up ആണ് the finite verb. But the hearing is a non-finite verb. It is independent, it undergoes no changes. So that particular clause which bear this non-finite verb, the whole clause is known as what? A non-finite clause. Okay. Now just read it. നിങ്ങൾക്ക് മനസ്സിലാവുന്നേ വളരെ സിമ്പിൾ ആണ്. ഇപ്പോൾ പഠിച്ച കാര്യങ്ങളാണ്. Then come sentence types. Different types of sentences. That is simple sentence, compound sentence, complex sentence. I have already talked about it. Simple sentence will have only a simple, that is a independent clause, that is a main clause will be there. Then in a compound sentence, you can find two main clauses are being connected with a conjunction. Then in a complex sentence, you can find that complex sentence, you will find that a main clause will be there and a subordinate clause will be there. It will be joined together to form a big sentence. Then compound complex sentence, I have told about it. That is not mentioned here, I think. Anyway, if a sentence is that's a lengthier sentence will be that. That is, you can find two main clause together connected with a conjunction and a subordinate clause which will connect with it. Okay, and all the three clauses together you can find as a compound complex sentence. Okay, now so we have finished that lesson. Now we are getting into the unit 3 which I have promised to complete today itself. Anyway, let us see that. Yeah, that is all about, again, nothing is there to learn new. It is all about the grammatical functions, cases and thematic rules. You know what are grammatical functions? First we are going to understand about the grammatical functions. So what do you mean by grammatical functions, Marimbo? What all things will be there? See, first kind of grammatical function which you have to learn is subject. Okay, a subject in a sentence and an object in a sentence. That you know. What is a subject? We all know that. That is a doer of the action. See, whenever you get a sentence, you have to first pinpoint the verb. First pinpoint the verb and check it out that, yeah, that's the action which is happening. So who is doing the action? Next question. Your mind should go to that. Who is doing the action? The person who is doing the action is the subject of that sentence, and the person who is doing the action on what? That is the object. Okay. Hope it's clear for you. എല്ലാവർക്കും അറിയുന്ന കാര്യങ്ങൾ തന്നെ ആയിരിക്കാം, but there are still students, I have came across many students when I teach that they have got confusions in the basics of grammar. Yeah. So that's the subject and the object. Now, um, then comes indirect object also. Okay. What do you mean by an indirect object? Object, I told you that that is which the object is a direct object is there, an indirect object is there. A direct object is a thing, the object which is directly dealing with the verb, the action. Okay, the action is directly dealing with that particular verb. ആ സാധനത്തിന്റെ മേലായിരിക്കും ആക്ഷൻ ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുന്നത്. അതാണ് that is a direct object. Okay, and there may be indirect object also. അതായത് an indirect object. For example, I'll just make it clear with an example like see, Ali gave Salma a box of sweets. In page number 35 you can find it. See, Ali gave Salma a box of sweets. Here Ali is the direct object. Sorry, really sorry. Ali gave Salma a box of sweets. Yeah, which is the verb there? Verb is gave, giving, gave, isn't it? Ali gave Salma. So who is giving? Ali. Ali is the doer of the action and he is the subject. Okay. Then gave is the, so giving is the action and to whom it is being given. That action is being performed on whom? It is to Salma. So Salma is the direct object. Okay. Then what is being given? A box of sweets. So a box of sweets is an indirect object. Okay, so that's all. That's really a very simple thing. Okay. Then comes a prepositional object, object of a preposition. That is, it will carry that is a fourth kind of grammatical function. That is, we have seen subordinate adverbial clause. Sorry for the interruption. Yeah, we'll come back. So that is, we were talking about a prepositional object. That is, see the example. Ram is in the garden. Okay, in the garden. Next is, that's a in, it's a preposition there. Then Bobby put the flowers on the table. That is, on is the preposition there. Then with which company? If it is a question, see here, with which company are you collaborating in this joint venture? The with is the preposition which we are using there. Okay, so that is the preposition object. So I think it's clear for you. Now next is understanding case. What do you mean by case? Case means nothing but we have learned it already. That is, case means to show possession. എൻ്റേത് എന്ന് പറയാം. So that book is mine. Okay, that is his book. So that is in order to say that that boy's ball. Okay, that person's picture. Okay, that women's apostrophe s we use for case. Okay, in order to show the position of a particular thing. Okay, that is a case in a sentence, or a case in a yeah. So normally this case is being the changes in the case changes are being found in the case of nouns. Okay, nouns and pronouns, obviously nouns and pronouns. So if it is Ram's book or Ram's house, apostrophe s, the Raminde house. Then if it is then if you are applying a pronoun for that, so his house, his book, that's all. Okay, that is a case. Then so in pronoun you can see here, what you want to know is that there are two types of case, that is nominative case and accusative case. Nominative case, what is a nominative case? That we say he, he, she, എന്ന് പറയില്ലേ, അതാണ് nominative case. Then of preposition, then him എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോഴാണ് that is coming to accusative case. See page number 36. 36. You can find that his, him is intelligent. It has no sense. He is intelligent. Okay. Then in the next sentence, I saw him. I saw he or I saw his is wrong. Then this is he or him house. No, it is his house now. So see, so it's very clear that you have to distinguish both this nominative and accusative cases in a proper way and use it in a proper way in order to show the position of a thing. Okay. Next is thematic rule. I think the time is going on. What do you mean by thematic? The notion of a thematic role. The concept of thematic means, see, we'll explain it with an example in page number 36. Please come to page number 36. The door opened. The sentence A is the door opened. Sentence B, the security guard opened the door. Okay, so here, what is the theme? The same noun phrase, the door, is coming in both sentences. In the first sentence, the theme of that noun is entirely different from the second sentence, isn't it? The door, in the first sentence, that is the door opened, is functioning as, see, its meaning is entirely different. Theme എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ എന്താണ്? What mean, that what theme it bears. Okay, so it is a lexical part. Okay, so let's see. That is the door opened. എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ door opened. The security guard opened the door. In the first place, it is functioning as a subject, and the second place, it is functioning as a object. So the theme is being changed, but with the same two noun phrases. Okay. So that is the security guard opened the door. It is the direct object there. The door opened, it is a noun phrase there. Okay. So entirely it is being changed. That is noun phrase, sorry, noun phrase, sorry, the subject there. The door opened. Okay, what is being opened? Next is grammatical functions. See, as we have learned about, next one is grammatical functions, subject, direct object, and indirect object. Already we have discussed about it in a very detailed manner. That is, I told you what a subject is. It is a doer of the action, and many examples are given here. Then what is direct object is, in object you can divide it into direct and indirect objects. So in a direct object, you can see that examples are given here. That is, directly it is dealing with the action. The action is going on this particular object. Then indirect object is there. And here a new term which you may come across is dative shift. Let me explain that. Okay, dative shift in page number 38 when you read indirect object. So what is a dative shift? Now let us come to the example. Okay, page number 38. Page number 38. Yeah, what is a dative shift? So here, first example, that is 11a. Sita gave her sister a large gift wrapped parcel. Second one is, Ali bought the children some chocolate. Okay, so here we know that Sita gave a large gift wrapped parcel. First one is, Sita gave her sister a large gift wrapped parcel. There, which is, let us find out which is the indirect object there. See which is the verb? It is gave. Gave is the verb. Okay, action word. Then the doer of the action is Sita. Okay, so Sita is the subject. Okay, then Sita gave her sister a large gift wrapped parcel. Okay, so here what Sita gave a large gift wrapped parcel to whom? To her sister. Okay, so it's clear now. So you can find in each that Ali bought the children some chocolate. Ali bought some chocolate. To whom? To the children. So here in both cases, the underlined things are the indirect object. That is her sister and the children. Okay. So here let us see what is happening in the next sentence, that is in 12. Sita gave a large gift wrapped parcel to her sister. The her sister is brought to shifted. It is transformed, isn't it? So the indirect object is being transformed to the last position. Sita gave a large gift wrap parcel. To whom? To her sister. See, if it is like the Sita gave her sister in the Matraningil, it is not conveying the complete meaning. Analo. But Sita gave a large gift wrapped parcel anengil, it is giving a complete meaning. So the given thing is large gift wrapped parcel. That is the object, direct object there. Then her sister, indirect object is there in between. Normally, direct object is seen at that position. So this, so that's a shift. That is such shift of, that is the shift of indirect object in a sentence is known as, you can use in either way. Both ways are correct. Okay. The first way, that is Sita gave her sister a large gift wrap parcel, and the way the Sita gave a large gift wrap parcel to her sister. Both ways are correct. You can use it in the both way. Okay. But here what we have to understand is that we made two different sentences by the transformation of the indirect object from its place to another place in the sentence. This transformation of indirect object in a sentence is known as dative shift. Hope it's clear for you. Okay. Now, so what is a dative shift? It is the transformation of an indirect object in a sentence. Indirect object just after the verb or after mentioning the direct object. Okay. Then comes prepositional object. I have told you what a prepositional object is. That is, along with it, a preposition will come. For example, in page number 39, I'm going to my workplace. But put the flowers in the flower vase. Next, the rock rolled down the slope. There are three sentences are there, that I'm going to my workplace. To my workplace, there you are using to my work. My workplace is a syntactic constituent, or it's into that you are, that is, it's an object which has been mentioned there. Where you are going. I am going to object, with going is the verb and I am is the subject there, and workplace is the object. And in order to express the meaning completely, you are using a preposition, a preposition to with it. That is, to my workplace. Then, so that particular phrase can be called as, or that particular object with a preposition can be called as a prepositional object. Then comes next, if you are coming to the next example, put the flowers in the flower vase. In the flower vase. Okay, in is a preposition used along with the flower vase. Flower vase is the object there. Okay, put the flowers. Put, see here, which is the verb there? Put. Put is the action. What is been putting? Okay, put the flowers. The flowers is the in the put the flowers. So somebody is putting. So here the subject is not being mentioned. Who put it? Who is the doer of the action? What was it has been put? The flowers are being put in the flower vase. So the object is being attached with a preposition in. Okay. Now the rock rolled down the slope. Rock, the rock is the action undergone thing, that is the subject. Rolled, okay, is the verb. Then down, the slope is the object, and down is a preposition. So you can call down the slope as a prepositional object. Okay, hope it's clear for you now. So then again, WH movement is being given here. Example is given. I told you the movement of WH word, whenever it moves from a place, it leaves a T trace there. So here a T trace being left. See, WH trace. WH trace TX is been given. In page number 39, 15, the next example. What did she do that for? Okay, see, you can, that see here that there is a T trace. ഞാൻ പറഞ്ഞു ഒരു virtual place will be there for a WH word in the end of the sentence because it has been brought from there. അങ്ങനെയാണ് നമ്മൾ ആ സെന്റൻസിനെ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ ആക്കിയത്. Okay, so that particular place is, that is the leftover place while the transformation has undergone, is known as the T trace or WH trace, because WH word is been transformed, and that leftover place, that virtual place, is known as T trace. Okay, so I think now we'll close the session here. Anyway, we'll start here in the next session, afternoon session. um, Hope everything is clear for you. Please do comment on the class so that I can improve my class. I don't know how far I can do it in a good way. Please give me suggestions. If you want to make any changes, please tell me. You can comment, or else you can contact me through my WhatsApp. Okay. So as I'm not seeing you people, say I'm not getting that complete feel of a class. So I don't know, and a blackboard is not there. Anyway, within the limit we are doing it. That's a big thing. So if at all any suggestions are there or any complaints are there, please let me know it. Okay. Okay, thank you. Now, so we'll be meeting by 1:30, the next session. Okay, I'll send you schedule. Thank you. Hope you all have put your name in the chat box.